I don't actually have a problem with Schindler's List being number one, but I think I'd want to see maybe it alongside other representations of the Holocaust and how that history is dealt with. Because when Schindler's List came out in 1993, there was a huge controversy about whether Steven Spielberg had completely overstepped the mark in terms of his representation of the camps. There's a very strong position that you shouldn't try and fictionalize anything actually from that kind of moment. Claude Lanzmann, who did the 8-hour documentary Shoah, which I think is one of the most important Holocaust films, totally despised Schindler's List for its kind of fictionalization of this sort of stuff. And I think that pairing almost needs to be seen at the top so that it foregrounds the sense of how precisely are you going to turn this set of events into historical narrative.
I do suspect that most people haven't watched that film more than once. It's a very, very harrowing film. It is, of course, a fictionalization, again, based on a novel about real events, but nonetheless, it is a fictionalization based on those things. There are lots and lots of fictionalizations of the Holocaust, including ones done by survivors and by people who were there at the time. And it is a really, really interesting field, and there's a huge amount of films in it. This is one of probably the most heartbreaking and difficult to watch of the fictionalizations. And that's sort of why I wonder what people are using to choose. I mean, it is an incredibly well-made film, unquestionably. The quality is very high of the performances, the cinematography, all of this. It is beautifully made. But because it's so harrowing, people clearly haven't picked what would I like to watch tonight, because I suspect it's not that. I think people kind of pick it because they think it's an important film, because it says to them something about history and about how we perhaps should approach the Holocaust, although I think that's, shall we say, a very, very open subject for debate. It's interesting that that's the one that has stuck in people's heads as this is the big serious one, and we should therefore vote for it because it's a big serious film.
I was struck actually, if you want a representation from current cinema, something like Zone of Interest is truly extraordinary. And it's actually filmed on the other side of the wall of Auschwitz. So his lovely, beautiful house is right on the edge. And that's where the filmmaker, Jonathan Glazer, actually filmed it. So you never see inside the camp, you only hear it, and you only hear it kind of intruding into their banal bourgeois family life. That, I think, is making a really rigorous, profound kind of statement about representation in the way that Schindler's List becomes a very kind of conventionalized Hollywood melodrama.